first time ever.
Hear you loud and clearly.
And it was going place.
That stuff's great.
But the game is not a roguelike.
Boomer shooter.
Bang.
Hello, this is John St. John, and you're listening to KEEP in the Keep, bringing you all the hits from the finest in the world of gaming and entertainment. Now sit back and relax as the drowned god Cthulhu lulls your mind with the tastiest talk in town.
Welcome to another chapter of In the Keep podcast. I'm your very own prophet of the drowned god, the Motherlode. The Keep is a collective of gaming enthusiasts compelled by the drowned god Cthulhu to frag and jib one another into oblivion for all eternity. And we're back with Scumhead on the podcast. Yay!
Hooray!
I've been looking forward to this like all of the last 4 hours.
Oh god.
Like what was it like? It was 4:25 in the morning. You're like, hey, when are we gonna schedule that podcast? And I was just like, are you gonna be busy like 4 hours from now? And you said, yeah, I'll be awake. Like, whatever. See you in 4
And here I am. 4 a.m. Gotta torment you.
No, it's fine. I'm fucking game, dude. I just had a whole weekend of rearranging my sleep schedule for work. Go to the first shift, and then I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just stay up afterwards too. Why not?
Here I am to ruin your whole life.
My favorite thing is Nas. He says, I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. And he's right.
What's his name is Nas?
You don't like music and stuff. Nas is like legendary hip hop artist. And he has this song called New York State of Mind. And in that song, he raps. He says, I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. And that line is so beautiful. I don't know why, but it's true. Every time you go to sleep, you're dead for like a period of time.
Yeah, I listened to this really underground artist called Kanye West, and one time he went, poop diddy scoop. Scoop diddy poop.
Scoop to poop. What was it? ICP had that line where they're like, magnets, how do those work? Like these are their prolific lines of hip hop history. That's
them
actually
be
what the
real
show's about
bars.
today. Let's not even mention Vomitoreum.
Let's just have a kind of boring rap conversation.
Here's two white guys talking about rap music.
I don't know anything about rap or hip hop. I just know the radio my mom listens to.
I grew up in the dirty South shit, man. Okay, so Vomitoreum, give us the elevator pitch. What is this game to you? You've been planning this for a long time, and then I was like, well, that'll never happen. And then you did a Kickstarter, and you made like some ungodly amount of money, and I was like, maybe this guy is marketable somehow.
I wouldn't say I made an ungodly amount of money. It's more money than I ever thought I'd have, but yeah, okay.
I mean, for an indie game, like for a first time ever Kickstarter for an indie game.
It wasn't my first Kickstarter.
Really? Okay, tell us about the first one.
No one ever play this game, please, because I'm too lazy to change certain aspects of it that really reflect my idiot teenage self. It was called Orogenesis, and I kickstarted it for $6,000 and it failed, and I kickstarted again for $2,000 and it succeeded, and I spent all the money on Bionicles, and then I made a game that was not good. The end. That was my first Kickstarter, which made me hate game dev. Huh?
I own that game.
You do?
I own everything you've ever made that I'm aware of.
Well, that's sweet. But I don't look into the files of that game, okay? Just don't do that.
Oh, here we go.
Stop. No, seriously. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that was my first Kickstarter. And where was I going with that?
You were going to tell me about how, okay, so you raised a bunch of money for Vomitoreum, but your first Kickstarter was Origgenesis. And it's bad.
It's a bad game.
So
but
even though you've built a poor reputation on spending all of your money that you get for your games on Bionicles, now
I was 17.
Vomitoreum.
Hey, okay. I'm not very good at this whole elevator pitch thing. I was 17. I didn't know what I was doing. But I do know what I'm doing now. And I have plenty of the money left still. Even after 5 whole months, I have plenty of that cash left. And I've shipped tons of the rewards, so I think I'm doing just fine. Okay, but to go back 5 minutes, let me do the elevator pitch of what Vomitoreum actually is. It's a first-person Metroidvania built in GZDoom with art inspired by Zdzisław Beksiński. What an awful name to pronounce. He's one of my favorite artists. Super spooky, hellscape type thing, and it's been an inspiration for me since I was like 13. So I wanted to make a game based off that style, translated into my own shitty pixel art.
I was talking to a fella named Revel or Carlos, who is making the game Sprawl, and he was also extremely influenced by Beksiński. And I brought your name up. I was like, you two should touch tips. I know people can't see this, but I'm
I think we should fight in gladiatorial combat to see who gets the right to use as inspiration.
I'm pretty sure all that shit's like, public domain at this point. You can't.
He's been dead for years, so probably.
I mean, not necessarily his artwork, but you can't patent being influenced by somebody. I mean,
that's true. Stay out of my territory, as the wise man Heisenberg once said.
Weisenberg.
No, I'm just kidding. Weisenberg. I'm gonna steal that.
Anyway, the game is based on his art and inspired by that, and you took it and did your own thing with it, and you've created this like really cool, like arid kind of. It gives this feeling when you're inside of it, and I remember you tried to explain this to me beforehand when I'd never even seen Beksiński's art. I think I looked at him the first time because you were saying it, and in real time I just like, oh, this is.
Oh yeah, our last podcast.
Giger. I was like all up in HR Giger. And, yeah. Anyway, so what you've accomplished, at least with what I've seen through the Kickstarter shit, because I kickstarted it, and also, by the way, you shipped a lot of rewards allegedly. I haven't received shit.
You haven't?
I don't know. Maybe
I shipped you. I shipped it. I shipped you a poster, and I shipped you pins. And if those don't arrive, I'm gonna bomb the U.S. Post Office. Just kidding.
Oh, no, you're gonna go postal metaphorically, like in the game.
You might want to cut that one out.
No, I'm gonna leave it in. See how they react. It's a credible threat. They're gonna make sure I get my shit now. But,
oh Jesus!
The artwork is in the game, and the atmosphere that it creates is so like transcendent above anything else that I've really seen in the Doom engine before. And I'm not saying that there haven't been really cool atmospheric places, but this is like different. It is totally in your own style, and it really does capture the emotion that is invoked by Beksiński's work, if I may be polite about it. If I were going to be impolite about it, I'd say it sucks and no one should buy it.
I'm having a hard time reading you.
Told you this is going to be
thank you.
Not very brainy episode for me.
It's all right. I'm here to ramble about my shitty project, and you're here to puke questions at me so I can answer them. Yes.
So, how did you set about creating that atmosphere? Like, I know you had the artistic inspiration, but like the game is far more complex level wise than anything that I've ever seen you do before, like Shrine and Shrine 2 especially. And then you kind of had a transitionary phase, man, because you were already playing Vomitoreum, but you put out Lycanthorn, which was pretty simplistic, and then Lycanthorn 2 is when you kind of tested publicly your experimentation with this sort of level design, this like Metroidvania-esque sprawling, interconnected world, which I assume is heavily influenced also by Dark Souls.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That was a question.
Could you micro that question a little bit?
How did you what was your plan? And like, I'm going to create this in Doom. Like, how much fucking work did you put into learning how to do that? And like, was there anything else, any other projects that were similar that you could draw from? Or how many questions do I have to ask before you give me an answer?
I'll give you your answer right now. Well, yeah, you pretty much said it. Where Lycanthorn 2 was an experiment on me learning how to do the hub map system, which I didn't even end up using because Vomitoreum is all on one map now. So I wouldn't like Lycanthorn 2 wasn't a waste, obviously, but the things I learned there aren't being applied for this project. I don't know. Well, if we want to talk about the actual map itself, Excuse. I took the Super Metroid map and I laid it out flat. So you know how in Super Metroid you're doing a lot of verticality?
Mm-hmm.
I turned the verticality into hallways and twisted them slightly and pooped things into, not where it's like obvious that it's all Super Metroid. I took the blueprint of that map and whacked it into what it is now. If in the raw type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this project. I mean, I wanted to make a Metroidvania since I started making one in February of 2020, and then I started making this sort of Game Boy Color type graphics art style game, and you played as this like little like rat dude. It was supposed to be like all the creatures were rodents. It was like Hollow Knight but with rodents in a 3D setting. But I don't know. I create projects constantly and get burnt out immediately, and so that idea got super shelved and eventually turned into Vomitoreum later. If that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird. I don't know how to put it, because generally speaking, like with you kind of had this very kind of, as I said before, linear driven style and like short levels and all this sort of thing. And this is a totally different kind of like, this is a new Scumhead. This is like Scumhead 2.0. I didn't ever, from the moment I met you, like I knew that you were like going to do something special, but I didn't quite know what it was going to be. And then now that you've kind of shown a little bit of what this is, I'm like, oh, he does have some sort of genius in there. He's not this guy with trash bags in his living room.
That is true.
But what makes it so cool and profound, at least to me, is the fact that you're doing it all by your lonesome. I mean, do you still have the programming stuff being kind of outsourced?
Oh yeah, I mean, like Mango is still kicking ass. Like right now, I don't have my hands on the build right now because Mango's just making all the boss fights not suck ass.
Yep.
And once, the most of this game was built by me, but like there's so many things in the project. Like it would feel so much worse if I didn't have the help that I did. Like Batandi helping with tons of the weapon animations. They feel so much better than my like 5-frame fucking shitty gun animations. And then like Mango made all the base like item mechanics somehow work. And then this other guy, Terminus, came out of nowhere and did some fucking voodoo magic, which gave me like those dialogue systems now. There's really like way improved feeling on all the platforming and different mechanics, and tons of bugs were fixed. Like yeah, if I wasn't selling Vomitoreum, I totally would have just made it all myself and shat it out there like I do with a lot of other stuff. But because I've got all these talented people. Just like it's not a lot, but they're still just sprinkling their little magic on it and making it so much better. So of course I had to shower them in a little bit of gold coins, but
Is how old is Mango now?
oh gosh, I don't know if he's 18 yet. I think he is.
You should figure that out before you
I
start.
should probably figure that out. Yeah.
Or
I
at
also
least get in
probably
contact
shouldn't
with
have.
his parents and have him on release so that you can pay him money and not have it be a weird tax situation.
It's probably going to be a case where if he's not 18 yet, I'll just wait till he does turn 18, gets his own bank account, and then I'll beam him some Robux.
I think you can have your own bank account under 18. I'm pretty sure that let's put it this way. Let's say he wasn't, right? And you paid him a bunch of money. Technically, even if it's in his bank account, it's his parents' money. And I don't know anything about Mango's home life. I'm sure he's very happy or they are very happy. Apologies. But if not, if their parents are assholes, they could just take all the money. And, I don't know. I'm speculating. Just avoid any kind of situation that's not good for you.
I want him to set up his damn PayPal already. It's been months, Mango. Set up your PayPal so I can pay you. You little man.
You can make a PayPal at 16. That's totally.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did do that.
Wrong. Don't fucking quote me on this. I don't know anything.
You're gonna get arrested for bad information.
Yeah, first you attack the post office and.
Oh shit! I spilled water.
Telling monitors to open bank accounts.
Oh dear.
For undescript services. Please don't. No one out there do that. Unless it's legal in your. No, never mind. There's no way to word that doesn't make it sound wrong. I redact deleting the first 15 minutes of the podcast.
Oh god. Just have minutes of beep. Oh god.
It's 15 minutes of the first episode of the podcast. It's just one long bleep.
Oh man.
Okay, so yes, Vomitoreum is a new horizon for you. It's going to be real fucking high fidelity in comparison to basically everything you released before. And in particular, there's a couple of moments that stand out. There's Lycanthorn 2 just kind of all the way around kicks ass. It's a short-lived experience, but as far as it just accomplishing the goals it set out to do, totally awesome. Everyone should go pick it up. You can beat it in an hour, maybe less if you're smarter than I am, because I'm really dumb, and have a banging ass time. And how much did you even charge for that one?
No, nothing I've released so far except for Genesis.
So it's free. You can just get a little taste before you spend all of your money on Vomitoreum. And then before that, the last boss of Shrine 2 was also kick ass. That was whoa. that was all Mango.
That was all Mango.
Yeah.
That was his magic, man. I couldn't design a boss to save my fucking life.
What do you think it is that makes you not able to design a boss? Is it just not having the programming skills yet?
No, I'm really shitty at video games. That's why everything I make is so easy. Because I think it's hard, but it's not for most people. I play every game on easy mode, man.
Well, I think there's something to be said about the fact that you're working in the Doom engine, and up until now, your games are really kind of centered in Doom, and then so people who've been playing Doom for 25 years, it is super easy to them. I still died a couple times in the campaigns, but especially in Shrine and Shrine 2, especially in the River Styx. And
well, that wasn't a matter of difficulty. That was just a horrible place that we thankfully redid.
And you still got an honorable mention in the CAC Awards to my. I was both happy to see that happened and also really mad because I was demanding that you win.
Well, thanks, Ty.
I have straight contacts to multiple people in the CAC Awards, and I was just you're a fucking idiot if this doesn't win. Obviously, obviously, Bridgeburner took home everything, and I think rightfully.
Well, of course, because that man scares me with his talent.
Well, I mean, there's different strengths, I guess, to making games, right? And his is definitely level design and intricate design in that account. But that doesn't sum up everything that makes a game special, right? Like, so for everything we can just sit here and talk about, like Shrine's too easy. Like, for 99.9% of people, his shit is way too hard. Even on easy, it's still really difficult. And there's nothing wrong with either one of these things. But, he released a map called Bastion of Chaos, and you released 4 games. And I like both of you very much. I'm just saying, like, I don't quantify everything on just like, how awesome the line work is. Like, no one who's not a Doom designer really cares about that. They're just like, oh, that looks really pretty. Or,
yeah, and
good.
I
There's
think
2 different kinds of art style too.
It's fair because the CAG Awards aren't a celebration of games. It's a celebration of Doom, and I think what Bridgeburner does is a lot more Doom than what I do, and I just think that's fair
too, because Bastion of Chaos is just it was a Doom map, but it is part of a game that is going to be released called Age of Hell, right? It's one level in a bigger game.
I forgot who won the CAG Awards. Was it Bastion of Chaos or one of Bridgeburner's works? He
won like 3 different awards essentially. Guy, Dude of the Year. I don't remember what all the awards were called. He won a map award for Bastion of Chaos. And he won, I think the soundtrack to Bastion of Chaos won, which is Primeval, your mutual buddy.
That dude is unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Primeval on the show.
I can't wait for people to play Vomitoreum just because of the music he made for it. It's like AAA Dark Souls level shit. It's so exciting.
I mean, he's a tremendous musician. He's punching well below his weight at this point. And not to insult you, but I mean, like, there's Marky Music, there's Hexencraft. There's a lot of people out there with very similar kind of talent, as far as I'm concerned. Like, even to the point of just like, some people can make really good music, but can't really master it or make it dynamic and fit with games and blah. We could go down the line with that. But in terms of just like sheer, like, if you listen to Andrew Holschult, Marky Music, and Primeval with no context of the games that they've been featured in or how much money they've made, I really feel like you wouldn't know like, if you had said like, which one of these 3 is not famous. I mean, it would be really hard to pick.
Yeah. Primeval deserves the world, man, for how much he's helped me. I mean, he did stuff for Shrine too. He's doing tons for Vomitoreum. I don't know,
but
man.
I think what he's doing is smart, because he's actually kind of following a very similar trajectory to what Marky Music was doing at the time too. It's like, just put your shit out there, like help out a bunch of people doing mods or whatever. Like, take every opportunity you can to get your name out, and then later somebody's gonna want to pay him a bunch of money, and he'll be able to be like, I would love to take all of your money. Thank you. This is my resume. And it'll be a really good resume, even though he didn't probably make a lot doing that resume. And smart. That's the same argument I had with you the first time you were on the show. I'm like, why don't you charge anything? And you were like, well, I don't know. I just kind of want to get my name out there. And I was like, that's fucking dumb. Don't do that. and then I was wrong, because then you got your name out there pretty significantly. And then you do a Kickstarter, and people are like, oh, I love everything this guy's ever published that I played for free. I should give him some money, probably. Not just for this game, but for all the other crap he did.
Money's scary, though, man. I'd be lying if because I'm so used to not working with money and just kind of being isolated that it's been kind of stressful. Just knowing there's definitely more of an expectation for something when you're selling it for like $10,
Any money you don't want, dude, my address.
That's not what I'm saying, you goober.
If you can't figure out how to spend it, I will take care of it.
It's not about the spending or the money itself. It's the expectations of the people buying it.
Right.
I don't know. It's spooky,
before
man.
you could hide behind the fact and say like, well, it's free, I was like, why
yeah.
do you complain? And now it's like, well, now I owe you something. Like, you owe the fans something. I get that, man. You owe me a lot. I'm kidding.
Oh, Ty, have one of my wives.
Numbers 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're in Arizona, not Utah. Let's see. I'll take the one on the left. She seems like she'll get along
Matilda,
with my current wife. Welcome, Matilda.
Welcome to the lineage.
But no, dude, it's just been really fucking cool, like watching you grow and change and become a little person.
Little person.
A year ago when we talked, you were even a little over a person. Now you're a bigger person. Mm-hmm. It's adorable. It's so cute.
I'm like a puppy growing up before your eyes.
You'll be 21, what, like next month? Pretty soon? Couple months? Halloween. Why did I think? I thought it was like July. That's my brother's birthday. My bad.
I was born on the day of darkness.
So you'll be 21. So on Halloween, I've got to drive to Phoenix and buy you your first beer.
Oh, golly. Don't I have to get like a special ID to even purchase alcohol?
No. Okay. So no one's going to see this, so I'll just show you. Never mind. My wallet's downstairs. You have like the upways one that you get before you turn 21, and then you get the sideways one after you turn 21, right? I think. I don't know how Arizona does it. I'm not from here, but
I have no idea.
That's the only difference. But that doesn't mean that they can't. They still have to. They don't have to serve you, I guess, ever. But like, just because you don't have the one that says like, at first glance what age you are, as long as they look at the date, they can serve you. Now, I'm not trying to turn you into an alcoholic.
That's all right. I don't think I'm not huge on booze as it is.
Right, because you never had a drink before because you're not 21 and you live in.
Of course, I've never drinking before. What nonsense! Well, with that, I know my brother. My brother's like 20 something, and he still has to get my parents to buy alcohol at the store because he doesn't have his special ID. So that's probably some Arizona bullshit.
That doesn't make any sense. I've never heard of that before.
Maybe he's just being overly cautious and hasn't actually ever tried it, but I don't know.
Is there a lot of anxiety in your family, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. We're an anxious wreck. Everyone is. We're all on fucking medication.
I think my family was kind of similar, but not to that extent. Like I definitely went straight to the nearest Mexican restaurant and got a margarita when I turned 21. I was in California when I turned 21 too, so good margaritas.
Yeah, I bet if you go to a restaurant, they don't really care. But if you go to maybe like a grocery store or a gas station, they're gonna be like, this ain't exactly the right ID. You need the better one. That happened to me in Texas with trying to buy Jewel Pods. Those Ron bastards. Those Ron Texan bastards. Do you hear me?
Oh, that's like a thing now. It's like you have to be 21 to purchase.
Yes! I almost said the R word.
For a while, I mean, California was like, I think, the first state to do that. They made it 21. And then, but it was like a clause. It's like, if you are in the military, you don't have to
That's so bizarre. Because there wasn't a grandfathering system either. So one day I was smoking, and then the next day I was doing an illegal act. So I've had to go through the black market.
It totally stopped the problem.
Yeah, good golly,
it really worked. Congratulations, government. That's not really interesting shit. Let's get back to the game. So what else like do you feel kind of defines it? Like what makes it special and unique that like sets it apart from other game developers who are putting out products that will be competing with yours?
For Vomitoreum, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously it's art direction and ambience is a huge thing. The themes of the story, it's a super serious exploration of one character that it's kind of like in Dark Souls how you can kind of ignore it, but if you look at it, it's something very personal and meaningful, and it's not just shoot the demon that type of shit. I don't know. I try to put a lot of like symbolism and themes and stuff from my own mind in there.
Like, okay, let's say I have $15,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, only have $15, and I'm gonna spend it on a game. You know, I'm not gonna buy booze with it or crack at the Fry's parking lot. Or, you know, I'm gonna buy a game, and my two choices are Vomitoreum or I don't know. That's another. Let's assume Call of Duty costed $15.
Okay.
Why would I spend my money on Vomitoreum instead of that?
There's a long silence because I'm thinking like the type of person who plays Call of Duty probably wouldn't be very interested in what I'm making.
I don't want to say anything that's like really like, cool and similar because if
because then it's just a versus battle.
Like, I was gonna like my first thought was like, why would I buy that instead of Viscera Fest? But then I was like, well, I don't want to like create dichotomy between these two. Like these are two.
I love that
games.
guy.
Yeah, Osric is great.
Mm-hmm. He's a goober. He is a very cute cat on Twitter. So what you're asking me basically is what's the hook?
Well, what makes it worth anything? Like what, you know, like if you had to prove this to someone, if you were in a boardroom, you know, let's say you were at a developer, or you're a developer and you're walking into a publisher and you're like, why is this game worth money? Why is this worth investing in?
Because
what makes it so cool and special?
Well, I think what makes it special isn't that it's doing anything super new. It's more that there's a complete void of 3D Metroidvanias. There's several in development right now, but there's none on the market, and I think mine's going to be the first one out there. So I don't know. I want to fill the hole of people who are looking for a Souls type experience and a Metroid type experience. Because
you haven't.
Huh?
Scumhead, filling holes.
Gross.
You got a hole that needs filled. Scumhead is gonna stick something in there.
That's so nasty, especially with how my name sounds. The fucking popping pimples into your butthole, man. Yuck.
Oh Jesus. No, I agree. There's nothing else like on the market right now that's like it at all. There's a couple of like pretty close comparisons I could try to draw, like Elderborn. Effigy is not for sale yet and probably won't be for quite a while, but Effigy was the next obvious answer. Elderborn is like a first person slasher game. It's really badass. It has really, really, really good graphics. It's by Hyperstrange, which at the time that they released it were a super indie thing. Now they're a publisher of games. But it has kind of the interlinked kind of Souls-like. I wouldn't call it a Metroidvania in any way, but like it has a similar kind of map structure. And then, as you said, Effigy is another great example, like of somebody who's like kind of closer. Nate Behrens is also working for Dread XP, and that's probably why he's not publishing Effigy faster. He's making money doing other things like The Hunt and all that, but that's a great example of something that's like kind of a direct competitor, even in terms of atmosphere, gameplay style, and it is more directly a Metroidvania. So that's something, I think. But yeah, you're definitely going to beat them all to the market. I'm not saying that means anything is better or worse than anything else.
No,
I really, 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 really like Effigy. I've played the demo from the Haunted PS1, and I've stayed in touch with them ever since. And I really like Nate, and I think he's got some great fucking ideas that are going to make that game totally kick ass. On the flip side, you know, I'm sitting here talking to you because I really like you, so.
You're fostering a Cold War here.
But no, like, okay, so let's say I'm going to spend my money on something else, or I'm going to spend, okay, I have crack or I have Vomitoreum. Okay, crack you can only do once, right? You smoke that crack, that $15 is gone. You don't ever really buy crack, you borrow crack. And you metabolize it, and then it's gone. Vomitoreum is a product that you can get, and you can keep playing it over and over again. You can find new things in it. You can try it. If you give your money to your local crack dealer, you're probably contributing to the delinquency of minors, destruction of other lives. If you buy Vomitoreum, you're taking Scumhead from being poor to being a rock superstar with like enough money to like make a living on, so that he can make more games that are even better than this one potentially. You're supporting the arts. You're supporting Mango. You're supporting Primeval. All three of these people will, stop living in their mom's basements and probably go out and do something with their lives. It's like basically Vomitoreum is giving your money to charity for. I'm kidding.
That was weird. What was that?
That's me trying to sell your game.
Nothing about the game itself, just that you're gonna pay for some losers to live a little longer.
For only a penny, you can send a starving kid in Africa to college.
Or
you can buy Vomitoreum for $15 or whatever,
and feed me more Big Macs.
So again, I've only really gotten a chance to play the demo, but like how long is the game? Like if you had to ballpark hours wise,
it's hard to say, because me knowing where everything is, a big part of a Metroidvania is just knowing where to go. So for me, a complete playthrough, 100% playthrough for me is around 2 hours. I think for the average person, it's going to be 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on just how good you are. It's still a pretty small experience. It's nothing. It's not an enormous game. I don't want any bloat, so it's still pretty small.
So let's say you paid $40 to $60 for Resident Evil Nemesis, and then you bitch and complain because you're like, I paid this much money and I only got to play 5 or 6 hours worth of gameplay. Well, you can pay less money and play the same amount of game.
I don't know if it's as graphically impressive or fun as Resident Evil, but
do you think being like graphically impressive is all that important?
No, I think graphically. I hate how every game looks like it's made in Unreal these days. It all looks very similar.
Especially Unreal game. I want all my Unreal games to look like fucking Graven, man.
Is Graven the new 3D Realms?
Yeah,
thing?
it's like the 3D Realms kind of. I don't know.
It's the one where you're the wizard and you can break shit. You can break everything.
You're a priest essentially. It's not quite an RPG, but it kind of has a lot of elements from that. It's still definitely like a boomery game. But
it looks sick.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that was Unreal. I thought that was more quick engine shit. But
so this brief tangent.
Okay.
It is mapped in Quake and then finished in Unreal. So they're like making maps in Trench Broom, and then they're doing all the texturing and everything in Unreal. That's what they're doing.
That is crazy how those files don't get destroyed in the process.
That is Andrew Holschult doing what he gets paid to do. That's why he's awesome. And then
Andrew Holschult,
not Andrew Holschult, Chris Holden.
I was like, wow, that guy's talented.
Hey, Andrew, I love you, but you didn't do that. You did make some good songs though. Thanks. No, it's Chris Holden. I don't know why I got the two mixed. I guess they're both, like dudes with long hair and beards.
That's my goal too. I've still got this like stoner shit going on. I can't grow facial hair yet. When I'm done being a baby, hopefully I can grow some.
I have to shave for my job, but like on the weekends, dude, I look like a fucking mountain man.
Look at that cool
you give me a 4-day weekend, and I'm looking sharp.
You look sick with a beard, man.
I was like looking back at videos of Realms Deep from last year, like not because I was like wanting to like rewatch me embarrassing myself, but because I was like trying to find shit to like market to people, like this is what Realms Deep is and all that kind of thing. And I just look like a baby, and I know that was like less than a year ago, but like I look at me now and I look at that picture of me from like a year ago, and I'm like, ugh. This guy has no facial hair. And then I'm like, oh yeah. And then I had to go shave right after that. And I was like, oh yeah, that is what I look like.
That's how I feel like every 2 months because my weight fluctuates like a lot, like only like by like 10 pounds ish a lot. So like if I look back 2 months ago, I was like, oh wow, that guy's a lard ass. But 2 months from now, I'm gonna be like, I wish I looked like that again.
Okay, so that's weird. Do you have like a depression thing where you like eat less when you're like, or is it like a work cycle thing or a money cycle thing?
It's just kind of
that's a sign of depression, Scumhead. I'm concerned.
Oh, I am depressed. Do not worry. It's
Please don't take my laughter as being mean. I get it.
No, it's fine. I don't know why it happens. I think some weeks I'm just like, yeah, I only need to eat like once a day. I think I've got such a disaster of a sleeping schedule. I just feel like there are days where I just eat like one meal versus days where I'm like just fucking pigging out and shit. I don't know.
Why is your sleep schedule a disaster?
Because I have no responsibility to wake up at certain times. So I just go nuts.
I guess, but like, I don't know.
I sleep too much. That's the problem. As I tick forward 2 hours every single day because I oversleep.
I get that to some extent. Like, I mean, I have like responsibilities that require me to be awake at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if you just isolated me and put me in a cave, I would. Who knows what my sleep schedule would be? It would be insanity. But I guess the added benefit it's not a benefit. Actually, this sucks. But like, my work keeps me always changing shifts, so like I never really keep the same sleep schedule. Period. And then, yeah, whatever.
I go insane. I hate the daytime so much. Whoever made the sun is an asshole. So
you live in Arizona, like there's better.
It's not my choice. No, like I could live in some hippie Oregon place where it's nice and rainy and cloudy, but it's
I was
expensive.
in Seattle, like a few weeks ago and visiting friends, and I fucking love the weather in the Pac Northwest. I hate Seattle. Seattle as a city. No offense to anybody who lives there, but like I don't know.
It's kind of a shithole.
The city itself is a shithole. I mean, everything else about the Pac Northwest is wonderful. Like I love the weather, I love the scenery, the mountains, the trees. Like we went out to Forks, which is out on the Olympic Peninsula. Just wonderful. Loved everything about it, except for the city of Seattle.
The one time I went to Seattle, it was sunny the whole time. So bad impression. Like that plus everything else wrong with Seattle was I didn't have that great of a time.
Yeah. I always got upset when I was a kid growing up because people said Seattle's the rainiest city in America, and that's not true. My hometown of Mobile is the rainiest city in America. It just depends on the metric. In Seattle, they measure it by like how many days does it rain a year. In Mobile, they rain at about they're like, how many inches of rain do you get? You know what I mean? So
I
it's
gotta
like
live there.
in Mobile, Alabama, you would hate.
No McDonald's.
Oh, they have McDonald's. They have lots.
Oh, I'll
of
be fine.
McDonald's. Yeah. It's just hot and humid and
yuck.
I mean, food's great. You know, they have McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. They have really good like seafood and everything else. You probably don't eat seafood. Are you a McFish guy?
Oh God, no. Well, I would never trust fish from McDonald's, man.
No, that's right. You're a Travis Scott burger guy. Is it the little Yachty burger yet?
Oh, I don't know. The Fortnite burger was delicious and cheap though.
There was the Travis Scott burger, but Travis Scott it was Travis Scott Reese's Puffs, and now Reese's Puffs aren't Travis Scott anymore. It's Lil Yachty Reese's Puffs. And the only reason I know that, I don't even know who Travis Scott or Lil Yachty are. I only know that my wife really likes Reese's Puffs because she's an adult and she can just buy whatever she wants, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know that I no longer see Travis Scott on the box. It's Lil Yachty.
He was assassinated.
So I assumed logically that now McDonald's switched the Travis Scott burger to the Lil Yachty burger. That's all.
They need to make a Death Grips burger, and every time you open up the sandwich, it goes, "Yup!" Do you get that?
Sure, yeah, of course, I'm hip. I'm totally hip. I know all the young people things.
Yeah, Death Grips is very hip.
I love Death Grips, to be very clear. Like, I'm a huge fan. I own all their records. They're fucking fantastic. I like especially No Love Deep Web, where the album cover is just literally a dick.
A dick? Yeah.
With
Oh my god.
written on it that says No Love Deep
Okay,
Web.
I have a story about that. A very embarrassing story of when I had that playing on my phone in the coffee shop, and I had my phone like unlocked, and I set it on the table, and for like an hour, that there was a penis on my phone just hanging out in a coffee shop, and I didn't even notice. So I wonder how many people saw that there was this big old schlong on my phone.
When I was a kid, Death Grips I was like high school, when Death Grips was like really big, or blowing up at least. And my friend and I, we really liked Death Grips, and he bought that record on vinyl, but he bought the censored version specifically so that his dad wouldn't think he was gay.
Oh, the South. What an odd place.
It's whatever, but it's like the censored version is just a black bar over the dick. It's the only difference.
Oh, man. I want to do something. I want my Steam art for Vomitoreum to just be a set of balls.
That's basically what all your games are. It's just genitals. It's like, what weird creative way can we turn a genital into a monster and confuse people about their sexuality?
It's upsetting because I want to do that. I like putting tits and balls and dicks all over, but people message me about like, well, I can't stream this game on Twitch now, or people have to censor it on YouTube. It's just lame that's like, if a creature exploded into a billion piles of guts and gore, it's nothing but like a booba. Mm-hmm. That crosses the line. I don't know. It
I got into a huge debate about this. We were doing movie night in the Keep. I'm not going to say any names because I don't. It's not worth saying. But we were watching Evil Dead. Have you ever seen the Evil Dead?
I saw 3/4 of the Evil Dead.
So if you saw the first 3/4 of the movie, then you definitely saw the part where the lady has this unfortunate interaction with the tree. Yeah.
Yes.
And I get totally why that's a very disturbing scene for people to watch, right? Like it is awful. But like, none of the parts where people are getting their brains literally blown out of their head or like dissolving or any of this other horribly, horribly violent stuff happens to people. Does anyone give a fuck except for in the moment when the lady is assaulted? And I'm not saying that it's okay for ladies to be assaulted, but it is a horror movie. I'm just following my own logic here, and I'm totally open to being wrong, I guess. But I just like, why is that where you draw the line? Like, this lady gets in an interaction with a tree that is unfortunate, but like when someone gets like shot in the face, that's not a problem. I don't understand.
I don't know
where that's okay. And neither one of these things are okay. That's why it's a horror movie.
It's not. You're not saying that they're both like totally awesome. It's like,
no, I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm saying it's meant to be disturbing and to make you laugh because you're uncomfortable by how disturbing and goofily shot it is. That's the point.
It is a weird because it's years of Puritan Christian type feely stuff about stuff versus I don't know. I completely agree with you though. I don't know why that is a thing. It's really weird.
You're definitely right. It's a leftover thing in America from Puritanism. I would argue that probably to my grave. Because it's not a problem in Europe, if you can't, there's no one that cares if you see a titty.
Oh yeah. France is all about that. They got those boobas out. I'm moving to France.
I was talking about recently how like Facebook had been censoring like women who had made like groups on Facebook about breastfeeding,
Mm.
and they were censored by the algorithm, probably not like by human hand, but they were censored for showing their tits. And I'm just like, well, they're not like showing off their titties; they're feeding babies.
Yeah.
This is one of the most noble things you could ever do. It's in our fucking DNA that you know babies suck on titties, and like, that's why babies are awesome.
Am I still a baby?
But like, it becomes a huge problem as soon as you show anything like that in America, but not anywhere else. And I can't really bet that. I had a theory. I explained this like in a recent podcast with Major Arlene. Like my take on that was that because sex is commodified in America, like it's in Europe, you know, if you're in, I don't know, Amsterdam and you want to go get laid, you just, you know, go to a hooker, and the hooker is an employee of the government, right? Like you have the legal right to have sex like twice a year or something like that over there. Sex is considered a human right in their country. So there are government supplemented prostitutes whose job it is to fuck people who otherwise probably can't get it or would prefer to have that it just be a transactional thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a union, and they're well taken care of, and they're tested all the time, and no one gets hurt for the most part, right? In America, that is a criminal activity, just like you're talking about with nicotine. It's like
America is just
nicotine is way more harmful
than a prostitute.
than getting your dick wet for money.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder if like in a few generations that's just gonna completely change, just because my generation, your generation, or I wouldn't.
Basically the same generation, man. I'm 26. I'm not that old. Come on.
Are you a millennial, or are you a Gen Z
believe
boy?
I'm legally a millennial, or however they define it. Like technically, I fall into the millennial category. But I would argue that because I'm from Alabama, you should put me 10 years behind the curve.
Put you back in the lost generation. Ugh. Yeah,
I get along with Gen X people. Like I really get along with like 40-year-old dudes. We have the same taste in music. Same political takes. Like it's real weird. I'm just like the one pretty young dude hanging out with like these 50-year-old guys. Like, what's up, man? I fucking love Dokken, man. They kicked ass. Motley Crue, Slayer.
Anyway, I think we've ventured beyond what the original purpose was.
Well, I think, you know, as always, that people tune in to hear about Vomitoreum and they stay to hear about Scumhead.
That's fair. If you want to just wing it and just go wherever, I'm fucking totally down to do that. It's fun.
That's always how I do it, man. This is my one chance to like actually get to talk to you for an hour that's not about business shit. Or longer. It doesn't matter. Like I'll be up until you tell me to go to bed. But
all right.
Yeah, but anyway, we can make a brief transition. We'll try to make a transition back to music, and then we'll inevitably divulge into something else. I'm really particularly curious about how you are handling the story aspect, because this is not a game that heavily tapers on the story, right? Like you're very influenced by Metroid, by Dark Souls. These are games that do not like just overtly spoon feed story to you. There are no cutscenes. There's nothing like that. It's like kind of like explore the environment, find things out, figure it out for yourself. You know, if you want it, it's there. If it's not something that you're concerned with, like, you know, I don't know, the pizza boy in a porno, don't look into it. Don't read into it any further. Just wait for the titties to happen. Or if you're on your phone, just hit the fast forward button and you're all good.
Hold on 1 second. Just could you pause for a sec?
So anyway, with like censorship and whatnot, people not streaming your stuff because of the gross use of genitals, which is weird. Okay, because like take The Witcher 3 for a grand example of this. Like lots and lots of titties in those games. And that really limits the amount of people who can stream it. So, but yet one of the most successful games ever. Same thing with Cyberpunk. CD Projekt Red. They're all of your sensibility. They love genitals for whatever reason. And yet Twitch censors that. So like, and YouTube to some extent.
I don't know if Twitch would censor Witcher 3. I think people are more concerned that it's an indie dev and there isn't protection. But I think in something like Witcher 3, like you're pretty much like plenty of people stream Cyberpunk and you fuck people in that game. So
that's what I don't get. Like, so why is it a problem? Like, why is it a problem for you but not for them? What does the fact that it's an indie dev have to do with it?
I don't know.
Why are you not afforded
AAA backing? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe with larger releases, Twitch knows they're going to get shit tons of views for it, so they have an incentive to let people play it.
Yeah,
not
like
to be
if you're a hot
considered
sub streamer and you're in your kiddie pool or whatever, and your titties are like just all the nipples hanging out, and you're playing Vomitoreum. Like, is the game what gets you kicked off Twitch? Like, I don't get it.
Well, they seem to be fine with hot tub streamers or indoor pool streamers. I'm more concerned. I think, I don't know. Twitch is a shitty place. I don't think YouTube is that you might get demonetized. I highly doubt it. I'm not going to say for sure, so I don't really know how YouTube works deep down, but
what I'm
Twitch
getting
is
at
fucking
is like,
weird.
How much does that shit actually have an effect on whether or not people play your game? Because we're like, people who are marketing games like focus a lot on getting it onto YouTube and Twitch and all this kind of shit, and it definitely seems to have an apparent help on the genre. But like, you can be as successful as The Witcher 3 with titties in your game, and it's not a fucking problem. So that's what I'm getting at. I was like, why? I don't know. Why are we playing this fucking game with ourselves? It's so strange.
I don't know.
You can say all the cuss words you want on Twitch as long as you don't use a racial slur.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even to that extent, I'm pretty sure like you can like sing lyrics and stuff. You just can't like.
Well, if you say a racial slur, you'll get a 3-day vacation, pretty much.
But like, definitely don't show me the big vagina monster from the end of Lycanthorn.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. It pisses me off because I don't want to change what I want to make to suit, you know, a social media platform. It's totally, it's mega lame.
Be uncompromising. You know, you're you.
Mm-hmm.
You do what makes you and your audience happy, which is clearly titties and pussies
and giant cock.
Like, maybe we should just start streaming your game on like Pornhub and OnlyFans.
That was actually something I thought about doing, is posting all the trailers on Pornhub, because people just upload like TV show episodes on there, man. It's nuts.
It might be really good advertising. You know, we'll market it as an erotic.
Yeah, this game will make you come in 5 seconds.
That might actually work. You know, that might actually get you some purchases that you otherwise wouldn't have got. You don't know, and it's strange because regardless of, you know, whatever the fucking case, like, it doesn't really matter like how you reach the people. If you reach people who vibe with what you're doing, then it's good. And in your particular case, it's like you've built up a very significant group of people who, you know, are willing to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to like saying, I really like what you do. You know, I really respect and value your art. And that's different. That's weird. That's not everyone gets to feel that way.
It's weird and terrifying. I don't deal with the expectations all too well. I have like days where I just gotta sit in the bathtub or in my bed for a couple hours. Just, I don't know. I get weird anxiety fits about it.
What are you scared of?
Failure.
What? And in this case, like, you made the money up front.
I mean,
you made more in your Kickstarter for this game than the average game on Twitch can expect to make from just Russian bots alone.
Yeah, I mean, but the Kickstarter money isn't. I wouldn't call that revenue. It's money to help make the game, which of course some of that is supporting me and feeding me, and paying my boys. But it's not money I'm comfortable with. Like when the game starts selling, that's just like I'm going to do whatever I want type of money. Except I'm not going to go crazy with it because I'm not a lunatic.
Investment versus profit. That makes perfect sense. Of
Yeah.
course, that's a very mature business thought that you've had there.
Thank you. I've grown a lot since my Bionicle days. No, it wasn't
You
Bionicles.
still have all those Bionicles?
It wasn't Bionicles. It was Godzilla figures.
Do you still have all those Godzilla figures?
Oh, they're in the garage, and it's Arizona, so you know they've all melted together. Probably.
What a waste. Have you seen Godzilla versus or Kong versus Godzilla yet?
No, I'm not really into the. You're looking at me like I'm nuts. I'm not into the Western.
Blew $6,000 on Godzilla figures. Doesn't like Godzilla.
I love Godzilla. I love the Japanese tokusatsu people in rubber suits doing cool practical effects Godzilla. I'm not into the CG.
Did you like
Shin Godzilla is my favorite movie. Period. Ever.
Right?
Ever. That movie's fucking unbelievably good.
As a big fan with a very similar take that you have, Kong vs. Godzilla was made by like one of my favorite directors ever, and I think you should at least give it a chance. You know, it's big, it's Hollywood, it's super CG'd, it's got all the things that you don't like about it, but it also has, it's made by people who really get Godzilla. They really understand like what makes Godzilla good, and I think you should just like give a chance to have both, you know, and see how you feel. Because I watched it fully expecting to like. I'm probably not going to like this, but I know that I love the people who made it, so I'm going to give it a chance. And you know what? I was wrong. It was good, and I had a good time, and it gave me everything that I wanted.
I haven't seen the King Kong movie or King of the Monsters either.
I saw King of the Monsters. I did not watch Skull Island or any of that shit. I don't really care that much about Kong, to be honest. But big Godzilla
it's just
fan.
a big boring monkey.
But you got to give them the chance to do it right, and I think they did it pretty damn good. Like they didn't fuck anything up overtly that I could identify in my one part. You know, I was a few drinks in. I watched it when I was in Seattle with my two best friends in the whole world, so like there wasn't a whole lot that could ruin this. I was drinking Rainier by the gallon. I was just like super stoked, and it was fun. But it's a good movie, man. I really do think that you would enjoy it. You should give it.
I'm so shit at watching movies. I watch like one movie every 6 months. Like it takes me a while.
There's always movie night in the Keep, man. I'm always putting on good shit.
I don't know. Maybe I'll show up sometime.
I'll add you to the roll, and I'll just ping you every time we start a movie. You can make a decision each time.
I watched a movie called Frankenstein's Army a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Russians are invading Germany, and they come across this fucking creepy ass industrial like cathedral looking place, and there's just really cool like real special effects like creature designs. It's fucking stupid and goofy, but it's got a super cool aesthetic. And have you played Resident Evil 8 yet?
I have watched my friend play it, and I've also seen G-Man Live's review of it, but I outright refuse to pay that amount of money for a AAA game.
Fair enough.
I've enjoyed everything I've seen of it. I will almost certainly, when it's on sale for $20 on Steam a couple of years from now, buy it and play the shit out of it. But I'm not doing it today. My money is yours.
Fair enough.
People like you are how I make my living, not Resident Evil. If that makes sense.
That's fair. I don't know. I just mentioned it because the Frankenstein's Army movie was a big inspiration for one of the areas in the game. And after playing the game, and I fucking love that game. That's one of the best games I've played in like the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Super, absolutely kino. But it just got me interested in that movie, and the movie's super charming, and it's kind of shitty indie movie feel with kind of crummy practical effects, but it's really interesting and cool. And I just recommend, like, you don't have to watch it, just look at some of the Google images of the some of the creature designs, because they're pretty fucking inspired.
I spend a tremendous amount of time, which is too much time, hanging out in the DreadXP Discord, and they do Ted specifically does movie nights like basically every night of the weekend, so like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all they do is watch like shitty low budget horror movies on purpose, and because that's what DreadX does, and I love it. It's like one of my favorite groups of people to hang around. So yeah, I'm into that. I'll have to check that one out, or suggest it or whatever for a different movie night.
I'm sure they've probably seen it at this point. It's mildly, I wouldn't say famous, but it's pretty well known.
It's just I don't know. It's fucking weird how movies focus so much on like investing lots and lots of money into like not practical. I was literally going to say the opposite of what I meant. Super high fidelity like CG bullshit that like actually usually doesn't turn out to mean anything. Like there's lots of movies that have lots and lots and lots of CG in them that just like suck, like Transformers. And then there are these other ones that are just winging it, bro. Like they're just we got $30 to make a movie. Let's go. And I now find them extremely entertaining. Like even if they're like objectively shitty movies with poor scripts and everything, it's just like,
oh yeah,
it's kind of the same thing I feel with indie games. It's I can feel the passion that this person put into it. They really wanted to do something, and they pulled it off. And in your case, it's not just not only is it low budget, but it's also not shitty for the most part.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's I agree with that. I think that's why I have a friend of mine who is the Marvel Star Wars type of guy, and that shit rots my brain. No offense to people who like that. It's just totally not my style of story or aesthetic.
Marvel, this is one of those things where it's like Disney ruined everything that I loved, and for that reason, I really, really, really hate Disney. Like all the way down the line, just fuck them. They can suck my dick. I'm not buying their shitty app. I don't care how good people think The Mandalorian is. If you gave me The Mandalorian for free, I wouldn't watch it on principle of ruined everything I love. Like it's like if you're fucking somebody who killed your parents came to you and said like, hey, but like I'll take care of you. No, fuck you. No. Seriously, man. Like I loved Star Wars. I was a huge, huge Star Wars fan until I saw The Force Awakens, and I was like, never again.
Oh, good golly.
Never again. And I mean, I was kind of in that era when like Marvel and Disney were still young and new, like, so I got to see like the first 3 Iron Mans as they came out in theaters and the first Thor and all that kind of stuff. Like that was like when I was 17, probably like 14 to 17, like high school years, when it was just whatever, a cool blockbuster movie. I'll go watch it. But like now seeing what they've done with it this whole time, I don't give a fuck anymore. Why would I? Like, and I'm frustrated by people who do, and it's okay. Like people can like whatever the fuck they want to like, but like, do you not see that this giant corporation is just like playing on your nostalgic love for something that was actually good art and just commodifying it and making it into a profit monkey?
It's soulless life sucking of a franchise.
Yeah. And it's even worse when you know that like people who work on it, people who like put a lot of their life into it and make millions of dollars off of it, or feel the same way. Like, yeah, I just did that for money.
I feel really bad for the people who don't make millions of dollars but put their fucking blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it turned out shit anyways. That's how I feel about 90% of the AAA industry.
That's
Poor
why
bastards.
What I was saying earlier. That's why I don't want to spend money. The last AAA game that I bought full price was Doom Eternal, and it, for me, disappointed me.
Same.
It wasn't what I wanted it to be, and so I made the decision then. I will never do that again, or at least I won't do it again until somebody totally changes my mind about this topic. But like, my money is better spent supporting people who make things that I actually like, and who I think are doing what they want to be doing. And you know, I could give my $70 to, I don't know, CD Projekt Red, who made my favorite game ever. Like, Witcher 3 is definitely, like, I think objectively, like, one of the greatest games of all time ever. I could give my money to them for making Cyberpunk, or I could give that money 7 times over to people like you who are not making millions of dollars. And furthermore, like, it's not any one member of CD Projekt Red. It's not like some programmer or level designer or whatever is making that kind of money. They're making some fucking not enough for what the amount of work and hours they put into it. Paycheck. Or I could give it to you and know that, like, okay, well, Steam's going to cut their amount, but like, at least you're going to be able to like buy your little Yachty burger and make another game.
Yeah, that's pretty honorable, man.
I want more people to think like that. Like, that's why I think I have a voice, is because I hope to help other people kind of realize that people like you are important. People like you are making games that are better than those games, than any of those games, that are that have heart, blood, soul poured into them.
Sweat, tears, and cum.
Sweat, tears, and cum put into those games. And you actually need the money. Like, the corporate overlord of fucking Disney does not need
any more money. No,
at all.
I don't need you. Yacht.
No one's benefiting any more, you know, from fucking Marvel's next Avengers movie in any way that's comparable to the need for Mango to not continue to do whatever Mango's doing. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Sorry to throw you under the bus, Mango.
We need Mango to be paid to do what Mango does, so that Mango can continue to do what Mango does for you. That's it. We need you to be paid to do what you do, so that you can continue to do what you do, which makes clearly a lot of people happy in a way that's not harmful to anyone.
Except for my grandmother.
Scumhead Industries is not asking people to work 27 hours a day and ignore their families and their children and their wives, so that a corporate overlord can make a fuck ton of money for no reason. That's what I'm getting at.
It's just nuts how companies get to that point. It's so shocking to me how people can do that to their employees.
I don't think anyone has a choice, right? Like, once you get to a corporate point, like a corporation is a superorganism. It's not a person. There's no one driving that bus. I'll credit this. I think I've used this metaphor a lot. I want to make sure I credit it to Dr. Chris Ryan, who's like a huge podcaster that I really enjoy. He always says, like, if the corporate leader, like the CEO of Exxon, came into business, you know, like a business meeting in the morning, and he said, like, hey, you guys, we've all made enough money, right? We're all billionaires here. I have an idea. Let's just stop producing gas and just walk away and just not do this anymore. Then he would be replaced before lunchtime. They would just get rid of him and bring in someone else who's like, let's go make some fucking money, boys. And that's 100% true. that would happen in any corporation. If I don't know whoever the CEO of Apple, Microsoft, Bethesda, you name it, like walked into the office tomorrow and said the same thing, they'd be like, we think it's time for you to go. And they have the right to do that because it's a corporation. It's not it's not like they own any particular part. Partners would all just be like, we have decided collectively that you don't belong here. And it's not because any one of those partners is an asshole. It's because they're involved in this giant rolling business thing where they have like so many people that are dependent upon them to continue to make more money. And they just don't have any incentive to stop doing that. So why would I support that? Fuck them. They don't care about me. Why do I care about them? I care about you. You care about me. Let's make a deal, you know?
Every time I hear about, I hate thinking about people who are part of that. It's just so opposite to like everything I want my life to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want a shitty apartment and internet and a shower with a computer.
Put it this way, man. Like, I know you well enough at this point. You are a game designer. You are a talented game designer. You are a excellent artist. You're one of the best artists I know of in terms of, and that's a really subjective term, but like your art really resonates with people. You know, the things that you create visually make a real reaction within people who say it. Like, I want to support that. You can't say that about everybody. It's not generic. It's not like anyone else. It's not like you copied someone else's art style. I mean, to some extent, you're like influenced by Beksiński and all that, but like you have your style that is Scumhead. This is what I do, and it's totally your own. And people see that and they're like, I resonate with that. That is so valuable. That is so totally different than someone who like, well, people are really into this kind of like, ooh, spoopy, fucking cartoonish art style that you see every day on people's fucking, their Twitter profiles. They like get those replacements of themselves drawn in a certain way or whatever. And
I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you don't do that. You do what is true to you. You do what's I don't even want to say the word beautiful, but like, you do what's true to you. And it's awesome and it's different and it's beautiful in its own way and it's not made to please anyone else. And the few people who it does please, really, like, they're like, damn, that's what makes me fucking, it's like
that's what's making me fucking hard.
It's the scat porn of video games.
Don't say that. I have to quote that on my Steam thing now. God damn.
It's like, not everybody's into being shit on, but some people really, really like it when you poop on them. And Scumhead will 100% poop on you for money.
Oh, Jesus.
He'll eat a little Yachty burger and just shit all over you.
Ty, that's the most disgusting image someone has ever put in my head. Thank you.
I'm honored beyond belief that you, of all people, would say that I have created a disgusting image. Because all you do is make disgusting images.
Well, I'm just imagining the little Yachty burger slowly transforming into Defecate and then being released on some poor soul from my fucking ugly ass.
Dude, if Little Yachty didn't have a burger before this podcast, he's
definitely not going to have one now. Oh, God.
But, dude, you're fucking awesome. Like, you kick ass, you do what you want, and you're different. That's what makes you fucking different from all these other goddamn motherfuckers out there who are just objectively, like, slaving towards that. Hopefully one day I get a AAA game dev job, because the whole point of this tangent here was to say that you would never, ever, you wouldn't last a second.
No. People have asked me if, like, would you ever work for a studio? Fuck no.
If you got hired at Gearbox tomorrow, you would be fired within the hour.
Because I'd be like, why can't I put tits on this monster?
It wouldn't even be that.
This
I
sucks.
literally don't think you could hack the work ethic that they have. Like what's expected of the average intern at Gearbox or at Bethesda or at imagine Rockstar, something like that. You would never make it. You have too much anxiety and you have too much like will in your own creative ability.
Oh yeah, I can't do other people's shit. Like
I've tried to make you,
and it just didn't work at all because I gotta do me, man.
All right. Well, let's do this, but not say any specifics, right? I had a project that I wanted Scumhead to work on, and I wanted him to do something that he wasn't really comfortable doing, and it was a huge mistake. But what we realized as a result of that, like the people who were working on this project is like, but what if we just let him do exactly what the fuck he wants to do and work around that, and we'll get a great product. We'll get exactly the kind of thing that we want to make, and it's better for everyone. And I think that's a lesson learned is like the reason why I look towards a guy like you when I want to like make something creative is like I want to take the guy who does the thing that I think does what he does the best and allow them to do that. Just make it easy for them to just do what the fuck they do. And that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Ty, you're flattering me.
I'm not. You would. Do you think that this would all be happening if I like didn't really genuinely and like I am a fan. I'm not just like some podcast guru who's like reaching out to people who I think are like, oh, that game might be profitable. That might get me more views. I don't.
If you were doing that, you would be the best like con man in the entire universe.
I'm not capable of that. Like I can't. I try sometimes, and I can't think like that. I can't think in this term of like, well, if I get that guest on, I'll be real. I'll get like 4,000 downloads and finally make my profit. I'll be able to reach out to a sponsor and get this podcast on the next level. That's not how I think. And I wish it were because I'd probably be making a lot more money. I reach out to people who inspire me. I reach out to people who I think like that is awesome. That is like so cool what they do. And if they're making games like that, they have to be interesting. And I'm never wrong.
Yeah, you unearthed a strange gremlin, my friend.
I'm a huge fan of what you do, man. I think what you do is fucking awesome. I just want to see you do. I want to see you unrestricted. I want to see what you can do if no one's telling you what you can't do, or if no, monetary factor is in the way, or if no, time frame or living circumstances causing you to not be able to fully see your creative vision. And at this point, I'll probably do anything to see that.
Get down, boy. Start sucking. Well, thanks.
Sorry, I talked a lot for the last you take over.
No, that's all right.
Taking a break.
I'll take over. I don't really know what to discuss other than just kind of respond to that. That was very flattering, and thank you. And I think what you're doing is extremely honorable and it's unique. Like, I don't know. I'm just very flattered and a little blushy right now from all that praise. I'm not used to it. I'm usually so fucking hard on myself constantly, so it's reassuring to hear something like that.
I know I'm not the only person who thinks that way about your art. Like, look at Ubergawai, right? For people who don't know Ubergawai, and if you should be ashamed of yourself for not knowing who he is. He is a very prominent developer in Zdzisław, which is a multiplayer Doom port, and he has for years been making like these interstellar, like crazily well-designed maps for the most limited possible multiplayer Doom port that could possibly be imagined. He's an incredible programmer. He's an incredible mapper. He's an incredible human being. And he makes these these levels for this game every year. So he's a super sentimental person, right? Easter, Halloween, Christmas. Uber comes up with a new themed map for that. And over these several years that he's been doing this, has created like essentially these WODs, these kind of super WODs that are mega WODs, whatever you want to call them, Doom people. Fuck you, suck my dick. That are like, on Christmas, we're playing through the whole Uber Y catalog. On Halloween, we're playing through that whole catalog, and everything we have up to now, plus the new one. And first of all, continually getting better, but also like, who has this much passion to do something that is 100% for free? Because there's no way Zdzisław could ever charge money for what they do, because it's based on old Doom tech that's not marketable, and I want to say not marketable, not profitable, because Bethesda owns that, and id Software owns that. But he's so good at it. I'm like, what would happen if this guy just made a fucking game? Like, just had free reign to do whatever he wanted. Give him a budget, give him an artist, give him whatever he needs to just make it happen. And that's the same way I feel about you. I was just like, what if I took these two people that I respect so much and I think are so complimentary and proficient, and said, like, what if they did whatever the fuck they wanted? That would be awesome. And it wouldn't even matter to me. Like, if it was a total flop, it would just be like, this would be really happy. I would be very happy to see this happen. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but just essentially to say, like, I too much probably really respect artistic integrity over like what I think is easily marketable. Because you can, as long as something's good, you can market it. Even if something's really, really bad, you can market it. Look at Disney. Look at most AAA game companies. You can sell something to people. You can make a lot of money off crap, off just making garbage happen in real time.
And it's very sad when I see John Sports Ball 2021 with 1 billion microtransactions. I don't know. This is a topic jump, but have you? I mean, definitely with AAA. I think we can both agree that AAA gaming has started to suck absolute cock in the past 10 years or so.
There's examples. There are far and few examples. There are first of all, there are really great people who are involved in the AAA industry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying anything about people.
Wonderful, very talented people who find themselves in that industry because all they want to do is make games, and that's the way that they found to make a living doing it. Right. There's that. There's also great AAA games. For every shitty 2K game, for every shitty, I don't know, Marvel movie adaptation, for every Fortnite, which I'm going to be honest and say I think is not necessarily, quote, a shitty game, because clearly people really enjoy it and there's some good mechanics and a lot of good development there. Simply that it's just like, it's not, I don't think Fortnite is popular because of how good it is. I think it's popular because of Epic marketing it so hard, right? They definitely like hit gold with it, but
I just got to get Drake to play Vomitoreum, dude. That's all I got to do.
There's a limit to how much, you can, there's a limit to how much Drake can bring to the table.
It's true.
Then there's the ugly side of the business where it's like, there are these people who are working on Fortnite while you sit there in your fucking, couch and bitch and whine and complain and fuck off and jack off on your face saying like, I don't like this update. I want more characters, whatever the fuck it is. While some dude, many dudes, and probably chicks too. I don't really know what the diversity in Epic is, but people, human beings, are forced into what I would consider unfair working conditions to make you be able to, again, sit on your beanbag chair and jack up on your face and play your stupid fucking video game.
Yeah, doesn't Epic have like a notoriously awful like crunch problem?
And that's what they have like multiple teams working on Fortnite that are like, all right, you did your fucking 18 hours. We're about to come in and do it. It's probably 12, but you know what I mean? Like unrealistic, unhealthy work times for these things. Or I could just support Scumhead.
Well, when you're supporting me, you're only contributing to one poor, unhealthy working condition versus 500.
You're making the choice to be in an unhealthy working condition.
Yeah, those people are being enslaved.
Those people are working for the money that they need to, they get into a situation where they're making like, oh, this is good money. I can afford a house, and they buy a house. And they're like, oh, I didn't, and then they realize the truth is like, I didn't actually buy a house. I got into a mortgage, and I have to pay that. Like, and they probably bought a house that's too big for them. And they're, and then they have kids. They extrapolate their life based on what they think they're going to make. And then they end up in these like very, as you said, slave-like situations. This is exactly how it happens. And then this is not just Fortnite. I just want to be very clear. This is most industries.
Yeah.
They end up in these situations where they like are living beyond their means because that's the norm in America and probably in a lot of places. I'm just speaking from my own experience. They're like, okay, this is the norm. I'm going to think about how much money I think I'm going to make and then just spend a bunch of money I don't have and then be in debt for a long time. So now if they want to maintain the expectation of their spouse and their children and all this kind of shit, like keep their quote, life on the trajectory that it's going to be, then they have to keep doing it. And so then they end up in these horrible situations where they're working way too fucking hard for something they don't even really believe in. That's another part. If you want to work 24 fucking 48 36, if you want to stay up for 36 hours making Vomitoreum because you love it, who am I to tell you not to do that?
No, that shit is,
if you're forced to work 36 hours to make Fortnite and you actually hate it, why are you fucking doing it? Only for money.
Because they have to. Yeah. It's just thinking about this stuff makes me depressed, man. Because I'm just really glad I didn't go to college.
Me too.
Because fucking hell.
I went to college for one semester. I took a pre-calculus class. I made an A, and I said, fuck that, I'm never doing it again. That's my whole college career.
I wouldn't be able to live in debt. That shit would just kill me. I can barely handle an overdraft fee from my fucking Subway sandwich. Much less
we want to get you to the thousands. Point where you never have to think about we want you to a point where you never have to think an overdraft fee for a Subway sandwich again. Actually, what we really want is for you to never eat Subway again. We want you to a point where you can afford to go to like some decent restaurant, like
Applebee's.
No, like somewhere that serves good subs and not Subway.
I go to Firehouse subs sometimes. They got pretty good.
Of the chains, I will tell you, like Firehouse is pretty fucking nice.
Firehouse is fire.
It is a chain. It is a corporate chain, but like, man, that hook and ladder hits the spot.
It's fucking delicious. There's not a lot of like solo, like every restaurant around me, because I live in a suburban hellscape, so every restaurant around me is a chain. Like there's like maybe one or two, like, you know, brick and mortar restaurants.
All right. For your 21st birthday, I'm taking you out to a nice place. It's locally owned kind of shit. It's gonna be good, and it's gonna have like real good beer, and you're gonna like be like, oh my god, this is like the best food ever because you've only had suburban fucking food. Oh look, here's my wife. Good morning, baby. This is just Scumhead. You don't have to worry about him.
Oh, kitty cat.
I love my kitty.
That's so cute.
You look so beautiful.
I got bedhead.
Okay. You want to say hey to Scumhead?
Hello.
He's my best friend.
I thought I was your best friend.
We're going to make a lot of money together, me and this guy.
Oh,
I
wow.
was your best friend.
Well, I mean, you're my best friend, but like, how much money are you making me? I'm kidding.
Monkey.
I'm going to leave all this in too. I'm not going to. Why would I?
Be proud
You're-
to share your spouse.
What is
Not
that?
in a
What do you
weird
got
way.
now?
These are jewel pod holders, and I
We're
stack
not-
them.
We're not sharing my spouse. Not
Not in that way, you weirdo.
Hey. He said, I'm proud to share your spouse, but he meant it in a way that was like, I'm proud to meet her. He was just trying to be like esoteric and like kind of, old Englishly. And it sounded wrong, and I corrected it. All right.
I do this shit a
she's
lot.
Close the door, and we're good. We're safe.
I do not have a way with words. I'll say that.
Nah, whatever. All right, so with Vomitoreum,
Where did that go? Jesus. We only talked a little bit about that.
let's be realistic about where Vomitorium's going to go. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a very substantial amount of money off this game. Not like no. I'm not saying you're going to be rich, but you're going to definitely walk away with a different perspective on what you can do, And I really believe this. I'm not joking around about it. Like, there's enough people like kickstarted this. Enough people put their money up front and said like, I really believe in you. And you're going to make a pretty good profit off of it once it goes on sale, right? Like regardless of how you felt about your Kickstarter campaign. And you're going to be in a situation where you're like, okay, what do I do next? So my question is, what do you do next?
Well, it all depends on the reception of the game. I know what I'm doing immediately after that, because there's two projects that one is my own, one I'm participating in. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the immediate after Vomitoreum. What I'm going to be doing beyond that is a matter of how Vomitoreum was received. Because there's a lot of work into the systems there. It's just like, I don't want to make a sequel. I want to make a continuation of the ideas, but improved in a new setting, etc., etc. Just, I want to do it again, but better, if it's a success. If people fucking hate it, like I said, I've got that immediate stuff, and then it's just figuring out what I want to do after that.
Dude, if Project Hand Gesture is successful, I'm going to finance everything you ever make.
Well, I hope it's successful.
I'm serious. Like you're my little bitch money pig. Just like
Hey, I know
I'm so
I know I'm fat. You don't have to call me a pig.
Fuck you. No, seriously, like I would any publisher should be like foaming at the mouth because it's as long as they're not stupid about how much they fucking spend on it, you know, they know that you're willing to live off Little Yachty burgers.
I am. I'm looking forward to shitting on someone with those Little Yachty burgers.
I want to take you to a place that has such good burgers that you never ever want to touch a Little Yachty burger again.
Hey man. Oh my god, I just realized I haven't been to Culver's in like 2 months. And Culver's is my favorite. I've been so distracted.
I love Culver's. Actually, they're pretty damn good.
Fucking butter burgers and cheese curds.
Those cheese curds and gravy. Oh my gosh!
Little nuggets of God.
Oh, I have a girl who works for me who, before she got this job, she worked for Culver's, and she's like, still like, one day I'm just saving up money so I can own my own Culver's franchise. You know.
You know how Notch has like the big candy room in his giant mansion? You should just have I'm gonna have a built-in Culver's.
You're gonna be like Michael Jackson, dude. You're just gonna have like your own. You're gonna have your own Culver's, and your personal the kitchen in your house is literally Culver's.
That would be fucking awesome. I'm gonna do that if I'm a gazillionaire.
Yeah,
which I don't think I ever will be. And I do not want to live a lifestyle like that, if I'm being serious.
I don't think that you'll... I can't say that you'll never be a gazillionaire, because like that's a really bold statement to make. I think you'll be really successful in terms of like your expectations and your goals. I think that you will be like, man, I made a lot more money than I ever really thought I would ever make, and I don't know how to spend it now.
Success for me would just be being able to keep doing this forever. That's all I want to do. Even if I'm living with my parents, as long as I've got enough to eat, it maybe if like eventually I'm gonna have to start paying for my own healthcare. So, but thanks, America. You know, just being able to do this and not have to get a shitty job somewhere, that's success to me. I think if I had to get a job, I would commit seppuku.
And in over the next decade, I feel like you'll dramatically change your mind about living with your parents, about paying for your own healthcare. You're going to make a lot of decisions and different, you're going to form a lot of different ideas that you don't currently have now.
Well, I'm going to be living with my parents for a long fucking time. That's for sure. Because it's free. And look at how I'm living. I'm living exactly how I want to. There's a little bit of... Yeah, with my fireplace that doesn't work because it was here when I moved into this room. I don't sit there with wine or anything.
Hey, if they don't mind and you can actually pocket every bit of profit you made, cool. But I don't think you'll be living with your parents forever. I bet in 10 years you're going to be like, damn. Actually, as soon as you get a girlfriend, you're going to be
okay,
like,
that's fair.
Right, we're done with this.
I don't think...
Or dude friend, I don't know what you're into. But like, as soon as you get a significant other that you really care about and you want to cohabitate with, you're going to be out of your parents' house like immediately.
I don't know if I'll ever be in a relationship, man. Well, I've been in one. I just don't know if I'll ever want to be in one again. Of course, this is a 20-year-old talking like he knows what the rest of his life is going to be like, but right now I have no plans for that shit. Ugh.
Oh, dude.
With the pocketing...
When Vomitoreum hits the stores, you're going to be tempted. You're going to be like...
Yeah, all the ladies will come screaming for my lard ass.
When I take you to QuakeCon, when I take you to fucking Realms Deep, when I take you to all
okay, you gotta be careful because I fall in love very easily. And if I see a cool cosplay girl there, I'm gonna be all weird and shit. So just beware. Not in like a creepy, rapey way. Just in like a...
I'm gonna hook it up. I'm like, hey,
oh, dear Lord.
Cosplay bitch, what's up? It's my boy Scumhead. She's gonna be like, "Who's that?" I'm gonna be like, "He's the guy that made Vomitoreum." She's gonna be like, "Damn, Vomitoreum, that game be dank as fuck."
I just have to shake my massive ass. We'll bring all the boys to the yard.
I actually don't know that. I'd be very curious to see what the actual demographic is for like people who are interested in Vomitoreum. I bet it's most 98%
Male.
I won't say male. I'll say cisgendered male, and then I'll also say like lots of genderqueer folk. To try to find some sort of nice way to say that, like
it's a hard thing to talk about.
There's gonna be a lot of people who are like in between or whatever, like very esoteric folk.
That's chill with me. I'm kind of. I mean, I'm not. I'm dude. I'm just. I identify as dude.
We're gonna get you lots of femboy hooters.
Yes.
People who post on femboy hooters. I bet you there's an overlap with the Vomitoreum fan base.
I look forward to it in my femboy concubines in my massive manner.
All right, man. I think an hour and 45 minutes is good. Let's let me go to bed and you do whatever the fuck you're gonna do with your day.
Okay.
None of my business.
That's fair enough with me, man.
All right, good podcast.
This one's more of a just chatting one.
I want to do more like that.
Oh yeah, that's fucking super fun.
All right, gotta say thank you, of course, to the wonderful and powerful Scumhead for being on the show once again. And the music this week is from his game Vomitoreum. If you're not already following that project, make sure you hit it up on Steam or wherever and get in on that shit, because it is gonna be absolutely epic as hell. Also, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, hey man, what an awesome show, I'd like to support it. You can head over to inthekeep.com, see all of our back catalog, make sure you like it first and all that kind of shit. But we have merch tab and we have the support tab there if those are things that you would like to pursue. All of our Patreon supporters get a kick-ass t-shirt once they've donated $25 or more, no matter what tier. And also they all get episodes early, so those are things you can consider, but no pressure. Gotta say thanks to the people who do currently support, so here it goes. Paul, Moose, Dots, Zach, Alexander, Brad, Red Eyes, Anthony, Robert, Jack, Brandy, Fred, Lord Revan, Tones, Igrek Simon, Immorpher, Mike, Zan, Bridge, Ben, Donkey, Shannon, and the whole Flam Fam. I love you all. And if you're listening to this, I love you too, man. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for just checking out the show. Hope that you continue to do so in the future. Keep an eye out for cool episodes that look like they're right up your alley, because I'm sure we'll have something there for you. I love you. The Drowned God Kathala loves you. Till next time, stay in the keep.